I just got it. I had to get it up to the cloud. All right. All to you, Tracy.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is the end of the year. This is our holiday gathering for 2022. We used to call this a visionary summit, but we pretty much to start calling it Ortelius's birthday party. Ortelius was originally established with the Continuous Delivery Foundation on December 19th of 2020. So that makes us 2 years old as of the end of this week. Steve, go ahead. We have done some big time growing. We have now 254 Google Group members. It means there's 254 people are watching us and haven't taken their names off of the list. We have 718 LinkedIn followers, which is about 500 up last year. We have passed that magic number in GitHub stars. 250 is sort of the number where they say that you're officially an open source community. We are now at 264. We have 115 GitHub forks, which means that 115 people have basically downloaded the repository and are looking at it and potentially working on it. During Hacktoberfest, we had 24 pull requests, and for the year, we had 203 total pull requests, and those are updates to the Ortelius base and the Ortelius website. So I would say we've been pretty busy. And congratulations to Utkarsh, you were elected to the board. I have to tell you, you had about 70% of the votes. And Brian Dawson of Ripple was re-elected to the board. So our new board looks like we have Brian, and Steve is kind of the consistent board member. Utkarsh is new, and we have Sasha, Anne Marie, Sergio, and Siddharth repeating another year. Keep in mind that next year we'll have a big election because we'll have the three top, Brian, Steve, and Utkarsh will be here for the next 2 years. But Sasha, Anne Marie, Sergio, and Siddharth will have to rerun next year. So we'll have 4 seats open for next year. But yeah, everybody can always rerun. So some of you should have gotten some badges overnight. We have 2 people now who have reached the gold status for ambassador. Siddharth, he was our gold ambassador for 2021. And Sime, congratulations, you have reached gold status for 2022. I want everybody to know that Sime has worked extremely hard on building our outreach in terms of presentations and podcasts. He has done several of them. At least 7 or 8. Sime, do you know how many you've done this year?
I think 10 plus.
Yes, yeah, a lot. He has been very busy. And just before this meeting, he just got off of a call with Chris Anisich with the Linux Foundation, doing an interview with him, and that will be posted shortly after this party. Go ahead. So we have a few ambassadors on the rise. I have to say our ambassador category is the most popular. Brad, McCoy, Arvind, Brian, Utkarsh, and Sasha have all achieved the silver level for ambassador in 2022. And we have Joseph, Anne Marie, and Tony at bronze status. We have some folks who are working towards that gold level. And I would say that Brad probably is going to be one of the next one moving up to gold. So in the champion leaderboard to date, we have then Brad, Utkarsh, and Sergio. And a note on Sergio. So Sergio has been doing our, he's been our Twitch J for the last 3 of these visionary summits. And he did a lot of work to put it together. And I have to say that after doing it myself and working with Steve to get it done, it's a lot of work. If any of you are interested in really learning OBS and Twitch and StreamYard, this project is an excellent way to do it. There's nothing that, puts your feet to the fire at having a deadline to actually present. And I found it to be hard, but rewarding at the end of the day. And I also want to shout out to to Sasha. Sasha, he has been an excellent mentor. I feel like that we probably could create a mentor category or potentially add mentor jobs in order for you to progress up in the ambassador level. Because Sasha put together a pretty huge presentation and a list of tools, and that was a lot of work. And he also has been working with Arvin, and in the past, as you know, he mentored 2 women in Women Who Code in Africa. So mentorship, I think, is something we should be looking at moving forward and maybe adding that to our acknowledgement program. Okay, Steve?
So just a couple side notes here. So Arvind, you are 1 pull request away from getting your champion bronze badge. As we can see here, Utkarsh, you just need to review two more PRs and then you have gold status. So you have everything else but 2 PRs you need to review to get gold status, and it'll be our first gold champion leader there. Let's see who else here. Joseph, he's like two PRs short of bronze level. Perfect Believer is 2 PRs short as well. And so we have a lot of people that are really close in achieving more badges. So keep with it.
And then we had 4 new folks who have started doing pull requests. Some we haven't spoken to. I believe that Case, I can't read the names because it's real small on my machine, but how would you think, Sertan and Kaysen, they both came from the Hacktoberfest. I've reached out to both of those folks and hope that we can start chatting with them and bringing them in. But they got their first encounter badges, as well as Steve Corrado, who is the son of Tony Corrado. Tony Corrado, as you all know, is a board advisor, and he's been attending many of our architecture and outreach meetings. And then Ankar Kumar, who last year did a presentation for us, and he has now started doing some pull requests. And last I spoke to him, he's very interested in doing some reviews of our front end. And then we have these, oops, go back one, please. And then we have legends. When you're a legend, it means that you have done work in both areas of champion and outreach. So you're doing coding and you're doing blog posts or you're doing presentations to get you there. So Brad, Utkarsh, and Sergio are all on the Legends board at silver level. So if I was a betting woman, I would say that Utkarsh is closest to becoming our first gold legend. And I'm looking forward to that. That will be an amazing feat because it takes some work. If you want to remind yourselves of what you have to do to get those badges, there is a blog out there on what the requirements are, and you can go to Badger and look to see what the requirements are as well. So go Utkarsh, I think you're really close. All right, and at that, I'm going to turn it over to Sime. Sime, if you could go ahead and screen share if you've got to do, and let us know about what went on in outreach in 2022.
Yes. So let me share my screen. If I have some issues sharing my screen because I'm using the Mac, so then we'll just have to talk about it. Let me do that. So I have just trouble sharing the screen, but let me start talking about it. So first, what Ortelius is. Ortelius is a central catalog for the supply chain and DevOps intelligent, and it is designed to track and version compositions details for every component of your software supply chain, along with all consuming logical application. With Ortelius, you can easily view your logical application, SBOM, SVEs, service dependencies, and inventory based on version, and even in decoupled microservices. The latest version of Ortelius is maintained by the Ortelius community, managed by the Continuous Delivery Foundation, a part of the Linux Foundation, and it was originally created by Deploy Hub and Open Make Software. This year, we have welcomed so many new passionate open source community members becoming a part of Ortelius community. Both and birth of Beaming Ortelius is a next big thing that I've started with the help of Tracy during this 2022. So in February, during the Beaming Ortelius podcast, I have talked with Brian and his early days in the CI/CD space and how it is changing to support the cloud native world. And on March, I have a podcast with our own member, Brad McCoy. He is a CNCF and CDF ambassador, and he is the head of cloud engineering at Mola. He shared his journey into the microservice. Brad discusses some of the challenges of decomposing application, the use of Ortelius, and his work on Kubernetes in the area of helping companies through their transformation to cloud native. In April, I done a podcast with Victor Farsik, who is a developer advocate at Upbound, and we discuss what GitOps is, why it's so cool, and how you can get started on your GitOps journey. In May, I have a podcast with on business agility and modern architecture with Mark Eisenberg, developer support account engineer from Microsoft. He explained how the cloud and containerization facilitate business agility. In June, I had done a podcast with Andy Grabner, Brad McCoy, Steve Taylor on exploration of a CD event and Captain, the cloud native CNCF sandbox project, incubated project as of today. And we discuss how Ortelius community explored the usage of CD events and Captain with an eye toward the next generation of CD continuous delivery management. In November, I done a podcast with Michael Cranshaw. Is a senior software at Intuit and core engineer on Argo CD and Argo rollouts. He discussed the Argo projects, continuous delivery with Kubernetes, and how platform teams can help delivers embrace modern release techniques and related technologies. In November, I done a podcast with Laurent Gill from Cast AI, and we discuss how Cast AI can solve Kubernetes, our provisioning, and how to stop bleeding and save millions. And another wonderful podcast I did with Chain Guard team, who is a supply chain security company on container images for the cloud native era. And they basically roll out the newest technology that called Wolfie, the first Linux undistro created specifically for the cloud native era. So that's all about all the podcasts I've done. And one more I did today with Chris on KubeCon, Cloud Native Con 2022 highlights and the future of KubeCon. And Steve talked about all things open, lesson learned from starting two open source project, Ortelius and Pricea. And Tracy talked on CDF, CDCon, microservice supply chain and the Ortelius application SBOM. And he talked about on the open source summit, OpenSSF, action and impact panel, how OpenSSF and industry improve open security OpenSSF in 2022. He's also talked about managing application level SBOM with Ortelius during supply chain security con. That's a co-located event during the KubeCon. Also, during the DevOps Con, we have addressing the supply chain's complexity in the microservices architecture. All Day DevOps is another conference in 2022 where Tracy spoke about managing application level SBOM. In API World, that is a very renowned conference in the industry, he talked about maintaining application SBOM in a microservice architecture, and also talk about in Cloud Native Meetup on scaling microservices with confidence. In the DevOps Canada Summit, he's minding the gap in supply chain security. In JFrog Summit, DevOps Intelligent in your supply chain, DevOps Summit 2022, time to add SBOM to your DevOps pipeline, and Tech Strong DevOps, moving beyond DevOps to DevSecOps. On October CDF chapter, Tracy talked about get ready for Oktoberfest with Arvind and Sasha. And Brad McCoy did two KubeCon events, Valencia and Detroit, where he presented their work around Captain, Ortelius, and Argo CD. Sasa Wharton is one of the best friend from mine in the Ortelius community. He's made out a project called Ortelius in a Box and Dev Environment Setup. He prepared some of the wonderful drawing on event-driven architecture. He participated in Hacktoberfest. He joined me on the office hour. He did a podcast with me with Brian Dawson. He set up crowdfunding on Linux Foundation, Ortelius visionary presentation on observability with Karam. Arvind built application built on containerization. He raised 3 PR in Oktoberfest, did meetup on CD Foundation with Sasha. How was get ready for Oktoberfest? Tips for first-time contributor. Utkar Sharma, he done application SBOM and blockchain ledger, contributed in an LA SBOM ledger POC project to present XRPL grant event. The feature include uploading, retrieving NFT data from IPFS storage, contributed by Joseph Akashi. Created NFT file hash, building domain pointer for NFT, transaction to XP ledger, added method to mining JSON data in Python. He also created a Helm chart repository under the Ortelius repository. You can look at it as well. Joseph Akashi contributed to storing and retrieving graph data, uses Orongo proof of concept, contributed to an add, retrieve, minimized SBOM JSON to and from NFT storage, application SBOM on blockchain ledger, contributed to adding SPDX SBOM JSON format file and an API endpoint. So thank you very much, Joseph, Utkar Sharma, Arvind, and Sasha, Tracy, and Steve, for all the hard work you have done during 2022 to help Ortelius becoming a great contributor in globally. And thank you very much for all of your talk in public. And I hope this will help a lot of the people learn new concept in the supply chain security, SBOM, and microservices catalog. Over to you, Tracy, and now we can start the next topic.
We have been really busy, right? I can't believe when Simon asked me to figure out how many presentations I did. I think I actually missed some, and it was like I did at least one a month somewhere. It's amazing how busy we've been. I would say that over the course of the year, we probably were doing an average of 2 to 3 events every single month. So for a small project, as we are, that's, I think we've probably gotten more exposure than Jenkins has in the past year, to be quite honest. And I think that the more we have refined the messaging, I think that most of you may have looked at the website, but we continue to refine our messaging and targeting the areas that we're really focused on. I think the more exposure that we will get. So thank you everybody for all that hard work. I know what it takes to put those presentations together, and it's not trivial. I've gotten pretty good at it because I can reuse some stuff. But anytime I have a brand new topic, it takes me a good few hours to put the presentation together. And then you got to prepare for the talk, and then you got to do all of the initial testing that they have you do, and then you have to do the talk itself. With the talk I did for DevOps, it took 2 hours to get my machine set up, and then I still had to do the presentation.
Well, and then also just getting to some of these events. When I did All Things Open, it took me 8 different flights to get there. Just to get to do the 45-minute talk. So
yeah,
in the States, 8 different flights.
Just like, yeah, because I missed the flight, so I had to.
Well, you didn't miss a flight. The flight got canceled. He went from Albuquerque. He was supposed to go from Albuquerque to Dallas to Raleigh, right?
Right.
And you from Albuquerque to Austin.
To
Austin,
Dallas.
no, Austin to Dallas, Dallas. No, you went from Albuquerque to Dallas, Dallas to Austin, Austin to Chicago, Chicago to Raleigh.
And then on the way
Steve?
back, it was the same thing. It was Raleigh to
Chicago.
to back to Albuquerque. I think it's like 6 or 8 flights just to get there for 45-minute presentation.
Wow,
But
that's
it's worth it.
commitment,
It's definitely worth getting. And I know like Brad coming overseas from Australia to Detroit is a huge effort as well.
Yeah, it's work to do these presentations and get the word out, but it's really, really critical. And we have done, as you saw, I should say, in those badges, we've done a really good job of the outreach. But I think that we need to focus on for 2023 is mentorship, get more people coding, because I know that I know Arvin could do more coding. I know Sasha could potentially do more coding, but we're going to have to create buddy systems in order to get it done. And those individuals then can teach others. So we do have some work to do in the area of more pull requests, even though 200 was outstanding. 24 just in Hacktoberfest was awesome. I think that reaching out to those folks who came from Hacktoberfest, those 2 individuals that got their first pull request. And when Steve looked through that, the first pull request was more than just adding your name to a README file. It was doing something a little deeper, either on the website or in the code base. So we have 4 new individuals who we can, of course, start working with and creating a buddy system. I think part of the problem is the code is some of the code is fairly complex, but the way we've structured it now with being able to create your own microservices, we could certainly build out more microservices. And the last thing I'm going to say is for what goals for next year is we need to, so we're not hosting Ortelius any longer in a SaaS environment, because we don't, the Linux Foundation or the CDF needs to do that for us. Until we can get them to do that, we can use the Deploy Hub team, which is based on Ortelius, and we need to add Ortelius to Deploy Hub team so everybody understands the microservice configuration of it, and we start eating our own dog food. So that's what Steve Corrado has stepped up to say he would work on that and help with documentation. So if anybody's interested in helping with implementing Ortelius itself, in Ortelius, which is basically the Deploy Hub team version, please let me know, shoot me an email, reach out to me on LinkedIn, however you want to, and we'll get it done, because it's going to be a really good way for everybody to understand it. And we're going to do it through the command line interface. Now, on the topic of adoption, we have, that's been a point that Sergio pushed us to work towards in 2022. And Steve, and I think with the help some of Utkarsh, I'm not sure, but anyway, they've built out a command line interface that we can start using for everybody to onboard Ortelius. So we really need to think about how to make Ortelius easy to onboard, because it's an essential piece of the DevOps pipeline to start gathering this information. But if we don't make it easy for folks to do it, they won't do it. It's just the way we are. We need to be handheld, and things need to be fast and easy. So those are my thoughts for the upcoming year. And I super look forward to Utkarsh being on the board and hearing what his opinions are and what direction that he can give us, and building out we have to work on building out the champion group, because I think that is an area that we need to focus on, and continue with the good work that we've done on the ambassadors. Anybody else have any thoughts on any of those topics?
I love it that I can join in and learn to integrate Ortelius. I think that's so cool. I'm so glad we've gotten to that stage now.
Yeah, me too.
And I have a upcoming in the next segment here, we'll have I recorded a demo of the Ortelius CLI, so we'll be able to use that as a step-by-step guide that people could follow along the video to do everything on their own.
I feel like that's a nice milestone, right?
Definitely. I think overall we've kind of pivoted and looked at what is needed in the marketplace. And speaking of that, this coming Friday, we have a review of some ideas that Tony Corrado has on what a service catalog should and should not be. So please join that. I sent out the invite to the Google group last week, but if you're interested, we're going to go over his ideas and try to gather what we got going moving forward.
And we just may be working towards a corporate contributor with Red Hat. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that. And I'll send out a notice about the meeting with Jay Flowers with Red Hat. They have started the design of something similar. They call it an attributes database. And that at the end of the day, if you want to think about it, it is an attributes data. That's what Ortelius is attributes. But it's not very sexy. That's why I changed it into an evidence store as opposed to an attributes catalog. But look forward to that in 2023 too, because that would be amazing to get a larger contributor involved. And Jay Flower may be that person. So on that note, what's everybody doing for the next 2 weeks? Since we're not going to do it, we're going to try to take time off. So Sasha, tell us what it's like to have Christmas in summertime.
Well, I'm inviting you all this way. You can come for a good old South African braai. We call it a braai. I know in many other countries it's called something else, probably a barbecue. I don't know. What else I don't know, in India and Pakistan, what do you call cooking over wood, coals, your food? I don't know. I would be interested to hear.
Dinner.
We call that barbecue only.
Barbecue.
Okay, it's also called barbecue. In South Africa, it's called a braai. It's when people get together.
How do you spell that?
BRAAI. But there are many other things to South Africa that don't involve just eating and drinking. Fruit juice, of course.
Tell us tell us what you call a stoplight in South Africa.
A robot. For real.
It is for real. I had a karate instructor, and I was driving him to I don't remember where he had to go, but I told him I'd give him a ride. And he's like, turn right at the robot. And I was like, what robot? I don't see a robot anywhere.
It gets worse. So when you go to Durban, they shorten it to a robo.
Oh, it's a robo, really?
Yeah.
What do they call stoplights in India or Pakistan?
Yeah.
Utkarsh, what do you guys call a stoplight?
Traffic lights.
You don't call it a robot?
Traffic. No way.
No, you should call it a robot. Come on, you should start a wave. We need to fight back.
From where that has originated? Why do people call that robot?
I don't know, South Africans, they're strange.
And then the South Africans also call a bathing suit a costume.
That's right. Don't you call it that? I didn't know that. What is it called? A bathing suit.
We call it a bathing suit. Yes, you guys call it a costume. It's like a costume is something we wear for Halloween.
That's true. Never really thought
Same
of it.
here.
Like, you have your costume. It's like, what are you talking about? What do I need a costume for? Well, there's a hot tub there. It's like, what? Do I need a costume to a hot tub?
Wow, that's interesting, eh?
I was very confused having conversations with my South African karate instructor.
Yeah, costume. Wow, I didn't know there was a difference. Costume and bathing suit. Interesting.
Yeah, there is. All right, everybody. Well, it is 9:34. We have about 20 minutes before the Twitch experience begins. I hope you all can join. It should be interesting. We'll see. Steve and I did our best to put together what we could. We only have one game, the word game, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that it works right. I wasn't about to try to draw because I am not an artist and we don't have Sergio here to do that for us. So we do have the word game. There's some fun videos. Like I said, there's an awesome opening song. I hope you all like it because it really does, you know, Sasha, with your outfit right now, you would have fit first video. All right, we will see you, take a break, see you in about 20 minutes on Twitch.
Awesome. See
Thank you
there.
all. Love to you all.
Bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
we'll
Thanks,
see you on
everyone.
Twitch.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use the Twitch chat instead of Discord.
Okay. Cool.
So
Okay.
see you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.